Okay, welcome back. Solo role Mangging. Shadowdark on Borderlands. We're in a we're in the caves of Chaos. We have uncovered this horrible ritual these evil cultists are trying to perform, where they are planning to summon an archdevil by sacrificing 5 peasants. We have rescued one. We've slain a boulette. And I don't think we did kill the boulette, 100%, yeah. I don't think I added XP for that. That was a level 6 monster. I don't think it has any special abilities, because it's basically like a giant worm, right? Sort of. It's like a giant gray worm. Although this has abilities, but that's because it can swallow creatures. It's also way bigger than a shark. So I'd either have to find something else in this list. I really should just go through. I have actually never scrolled through and read the whole fucking book. I own the physical book. I should just read it someday. So then I have a much better idea of what's in here and what's not in here. Sage slime. It's pretty awful. Pretty darn awful stuff in here. It's a very specific burrowing, it's like a sand shark sort of thing. Yeah, you know. It seems like such a classic monster. It seems wild that they wouldn't have it. But I don't know, maybe it's just too much of a D&D sort of monster for them to bother. I don't know, they have a bunch of... But I guess, yeah. I don't think... No, obviously boulettes are not copywritten. Although I'm pretty sure Shadowdark... Doesn't this have... No, maybe it doesn't. I thought they had something similar to Beholder in here. Like, I thought they had like an eye tyrant or something. Maybe that's just in a supplement. Yeah, that might just be like Terra Invictus or something. Yeah, okay, never mind. Anyways, I don't know. Probably there's not a boulette in here. A lot of cool stuff, but not a boulette. Ooh. Ooh. Fucking Chaos Hulk. Oh my god. Terrifying. Yeah, there's a lot of these that I'll never run into or use because I just take stuff from modules, and it's usually common stuff or it's unique stuff unique to the module. But to actually encounter a lot of this stuff, you'd have to just like... I mean, there's probably a decent amount on like the wilderness encounter tables, but... Actually, that's a good question. If I go to the Judge's Journal and I search for Cairn Dweller... Very rare in a swamp. Very rare in scrubland. Very rare in scrubland. Very rare in rivers. Very rare in mountains. Okay, it's just one of those very rare things that could pop up at any time while you're exploring the world, including in the grassland and the forests. Really unlikely, but it is possible. It's exciting. Yeah, they're always in the very rare column. Okay. Alright. I thought they might have had something for generating in the dungeon. They do, but it's really limited. Doesn't even include Cairn Dwellers. Interesting. Oh wow, this is a great piece of artwork. It's a badass dungeon there. Yeah, so pretty small lists. I don't know if there's another supplement for Axe that would have like a more expanded thing, or if it's meant to be pretty limited. Hard to say. But otherwise, you can just throw Cairn Dwellers in there if you really want. Anyways, let's get back to it. All right, the Boulette. I was trying to figure out XP. Yeah, so I mean, I think we're just going to go with 6 with no special abilities. Because based on the Shadowdark mod, you know, stat block, it doesn't have any special abilities. I mean, it does. A leap does not count as a special ability. So we're just going to go with the standard 6 hit die monster for 320. All right. Good. We're going to move on to the next room then in the rotation, which is 55. The water altar. So we burst in there looking for another sacrifice, and we immediately come to a stop because there's a big pool of water. There's 2 hungry sharks. There's the cultist chanting there. And then the peasant sitting next to him. He's, you know, he opened his eyes briefly, looked at us, the cultist did, so he's aware of us. We're not really going to be able to ambush him here. I have a feeling Slumber probably is the best bet, and then we can just keep shooting the sharks with arrows until they're dead. They're like fish in a barrel, right? We might have to go through a good number of arrows, though, and Scylla only has 10 left. He's got 19, though, so he could borrow some arrows over. It's the smartest option. We are going to have to win initiative, though, for him to be able to cast a spell, because he can't really do it subtly, you know? He's casting a spell. It's quite obvious. And as soon as he hears him starting to cast a spell, he's going to kick this motherfucker into the water. Technically, you know, if this were old school initiative and stuff, we'd have to declare we're casting the spell, we'd roll initiative, and then he could do something. Like, he could kick him before our spell goes off. But we're not playing that way. We'll stick with it as is. So he's going to start casting Slumber. We roll initiative. Ours is 2, his is 5. So we lost initiative. Okay. Well, then I can redirect Slumber to try to put the sharks to sleep. It's a 10-foot diameter sphere. The platform was 10 feet wide. So it's big enough to get the platform. So I think I'd probably get one of the sharks. Okay. We're not doing anything else because we were waiting to see. I mean, the initiative, like, yeah, that's what it was. So I'm going to try to... Yeah, we're going to cast Slumber. Critical failure. So not only that, I have to roll on the appropriate mishap table. We will keep those in play because it's... We're still doing Shadowdark spell casting, just different spells. So, oh god. The mishap table. It's a tier 1 spell, so D12. 8. Harmonic failure. You lose the ability to cast a random spell until you complete a rest. Okay, that'll be a D3 then. And of course, it's Mage Missile, so Kurathair is back to being completely useless. Awesome. Alright, so we got 2 sharks in the water. The peasants in the water. This is really bad. The guy in the middle is just continuing to chant now. So now we're rolling initiative against the sharks. I guess I would give maybe time, if they wanted to during that last round, immediately to just dive into the water as soon as the peasant got shoved in. We are at a strong disadvantage in the water with 2 sharks. It's giving these is just sharks. I just want to see a hit die value, really. Just shark, 3 hit dice. Okay, so if we go to shark on here, we got 2 hit dice, 8 hit dice, or 4 hit dice. I guess we'll go for the 2 hit dice. Yeah. So, pretty standard, but they have 15 AC, they'll have 9 hit points, and 2d4 damage bite attack. Also, while we're in the water, we will have disadvantage on all our attacks and everything, which is pretty abysmal when they have 15 fucking AC. It's going to make it very hard to hit. But we just need to draw the sharks off of him so he can survive. Unfortunately, Craig is just... shit. 2 hit points is so bad. I can't believe we failed that spell cast. It's the whole reason we brought you along. I don't think I'll find rules for swimming in here. And... oh, there is. Swim half speed, make a con check each round, you hold your breath, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. That's the basic rules for swimming, but for fighting in the water, we can certainly, I thought there was a section in this section, but no, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, there it is. Underwater combat. This says, if you're making melee attacks with weapons that do not deal piercing damage, suffer a -2 penalty to their attack throw. Missile attacks, -2 penalty to attack and damage at short range. 5 medium, 10 at long. That's attack and damage, which is pretty significant. Yeah. Like I said the first time we looked at this, the axe rules for fighting underwater is really generous. It's really not bad. By these rules, we would not have advantage against us or anything. And with a dagger, we would have a -2 penalty to the attack throw. It seems harsh to just roll that over to disadvantage. But we did the same thing for prone. And if we do the same thing for prone, I'm not sure why we would... yeah, I think swinging a club underwater. I feel like disadvantage is probably appropriate. Craig's gonna die down there. He's gonna fucking die in that water. Will Ryarn get in the water with the hungry sharks? That's probably going to have to prompt like a loyalty or a morale check, sort of. I don't know if we want to do a morale check with a whole D20. That seems kind of shitty. Yeah, and the hireling obedience table. So it's a 2d6. which you can see the average is compliant. I mean, 7 is above 6, so, you know, most of the time they're going to be compliant. But there could be situational modifiers. If Craig jumps in, then it's a +2 for him personally doing the task alongside him. Customary for his hireling's profession or class. I don't know if it's customary. Task exposes him to more risk than what others in the party face. That's true. I mean, it is extraordinary risk of death. You're jumping in a pool with blood-hungry sharks. So, yeah. If we put his, So it is a morale roll, though, yeah. So if we give his morale of being decent because he's a good elf, soldier, priest, and he's here to interrupt, you know, an evil ritual. So we give him a baseline of +2. +2 from Craig jumping into the water first for +4, but then -5 because it's kind of extraordinary risk of death. Then we're at a total of -1. Oh my god, he got a 1 total. So he just refuses to jump in. Alright, but Craig has already jumped in the water. And that's it. So now we need a new initiative to see how this goes. Our roll is a 7. The shark's roll might also be a 7. Nope. It's a 6. Okay. Craig is gonna try to stab this first shark right away. He misses, yes. I do have a luck token. If the faster we can... I mean, this first round is pretty crucial, so I'm going to spend the luck token. Okay, 5 damage on that one. Scylla then is going to try to shoot that same one. Misses. Ryan refuses to jump in. This is crazy. Kruithar would use magic missile, possibly killing the shark, but he's got nothing, so he's just like, yeah, shit, sorry guys. This is why we give him sling proficiency now. Alright, the 2 sharks then beeline for Craig, because that's what the module says. So this is where he probably dies, because they're going to roll +2. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're not too bad, these bull sharks. The Shadowdark version would be worse. +3 for 1d10. But yes, okay. +2. First one, miss. Second one, misses. He doesn't technically have a swim speed, but again, if we're just going off the axe rules, doesn't say anything about lowering your AC or anything. So it's pretty nice. Chainmail protected him. All right, new initiative then. Ours is 5. Theirs is 3. He's going to try to stab that same one that's at 4 hit points. He missed. Still shooting the bow. Miss. That's all we got. They're trying to bite Craig again. Miss. New initiative. We rolled a 4. They rolled a 4. Reroll. We roll a 2. They roll a 5 against Craig. Boom, boom. That second one is finally a hit. 2d4. 8 damage. He goes down. They're probably just gonna kill him, I would imagine. I mean, it's fucking sharks in the water. He's bleeding out. Like, of course they're gonna kill him. So then Scylla is gonna try to end one of the sharks' life. She doesn't. Will Ryarn jump in finally? Let's re-roll now that his employer might die and he might not get paid. We'll roll again. Nope, he's still... No, he's actually, it's a 4. He's begrudging about it. -1 penalty on any loyalty. It's like, oh, fuck. Craig, no. Ah, damn it. So Ryarn's gonna jump in and try to bludgeon this snake. The shark. But he does have disadvantage because he's using a fucking mace. So this is never gonna hit anything. Yeah. But it might buy Scylla some time to shoot one of the snakes. New initiative. Ours is 7. Yep. Actually, I think ours is 6, because it's just these two now, so it's 6. Theirs is 5. Scylla's going to shoot that injured one. Nope, we will never hit it. Of course, he misses, fails. Kurathair stands there uselessly. They're going to go and try to bite Ryarn now. 1, 2. That second one's going to hit for 2d4, and he's down. I think that's it. I think we're fucked. I think it's over. Craig's dead. Unless he miraculously rolls a 20 on these 2 rolls. No. Third roll. No, alright, he's dead. Okay, Craig's gone. Ryarn's follows. Scylla and Kurathair run. And we're gonna just run out of the whole complex because... we're not gonna be able to prevent this now. There's just 2 of us. Scylla's not that good, and Kurathair has no spells. He's useless as a peasant. So that means that sacrifice is dead. This one dead. This one dead. So we only saved 1. I guess we'll carry him out of there on our way out. But that means that 4 sacrifices go off. So it's I've looked this word up like 20 times. Arignes or something like that. It's a pretty nasty thing. Actually, is that in the monster manual? No. Probably something similar to it, though. Not even in the Shadowdark bestiary. Oh, no, there it is. Thunder Devil. I'm an idiot. I was on it. I clicked on it, actually, and then I was scrolling. Raven-winged resplendent beings in polished black armor and helms with curved horns. 17 AC, 43 hit points, 3 attacks with the greatsword for +8, 1d12 damage. And they can also shoot a longbow with poison. DC 15 con check, or target's eyes go jet black, and it turns on its allies for 1d4 rounds. Yeah, pretty nasty target. Level 9. Okay, so that's, that flies off or whatever and becomes a recurring villain. The cultists curse us for denying them the Archdevil. Okay. The problem is now that we're going to have to, I don't think Craig was carrying any loot. No, he didn't have anything of much value except for the Masterwork Dagger. And Ryarn, of course, didn't have anything of value. We have to go back to at least the keep in order to survive. So we're going to have to be pretty lucky now. It was like the start of a day. So we're going to just immediately start traveling and make it as far as we can go. Unfortunately, our travel speed now is pretty shitty because he has basically 0 slots available and she has 1 slot available. So we'd have to dump off some stuff if we wanted to lighten our load, which I think we should. The egg of the cockatrice, I kept forgetting. I think I keep hoping to sell it without using it. We're going to dump off that jarred human organ. That's not necessary. We'll dump off a bunch of torches that we didn't end up using. That gets her pretty close. We'll dump off... Yeah, technically, I have 2 flasks, so I could dump 1 flask. I guess that's probably fair. Alright, I'll dump off 1 flask. Alright, that gets her below... It gets her to 2 slots. As for Kurathair, also dump some torches. Don't dump any treasure, we need that. Dump... oh god. The rope. And irons. Oh no, he's good. He's got 2 open now. Okay, excellent. So 2 open gets us to... Oh, no, I changed... All right, I originally set it to 0 or 1 is 6 miles. I only needed 1 open slot. Fuck. Okay, we could grab that rope again. All right. Okay, so at least we're at 12 miles per day then. So now, we have to make the long trek back. So we're going to have to roll an encounter. We're going to have to roll 2 encounters today. 1 in the forest, 1 in the grasslands. So the first one is an 18. That's promising. This is all Borderlands. Or no, did I count this forest maybe as Outlands? Nah, I'll count it as Borderlands. It's fine. So 18 in the Borderlands is a valuable terrain encounter, which could very well be a cache of goodies. 8. Safe haven. A hidden, guarded, or otherwise especially safe location. While resting here, adventurers will not be discovered by any random encounters, though the adventurers may be followed into the safe haven if they attempt to escape into it. Okay. It's a limestone cave with a nice grotto. Okay, pretty good, but unfortunately we probably want to keep moving. We don't have much value in sticking around. I guess I could note it. Yeah, I mean, technically it would be here. Okay, that's good. And then the next one is a 9, which I think is a civilized encounter. It is. And this is in the grassland. 36 is going to be farmers. Okay, so probably on the other side of the river or something, we see some farmers. Maybe fishing or something like that. Yeah, not much we really need to do with that, but obviously it's pretty dangerous territory. There's cultists snatching farmers up and sacrificing them, so maybe we give a word of warning there. That's about as far as we can go, though, and we're going to camp by the river. Let's see if we forage anything. No, we got a critical fail. That's great. And a 5. We rolled a 1 and a 2. Awesome. Okay. Let's roll our random encounter for the night. This should be our only random night encounter for the whole trip. 8 in the Borderlands is nothing, thankfully. Alright, let's consume our ration. 4. And then 2 more encounters. First one is nothing. Excellent. Second one is a dangerous terrain encounter. Okay, well, we'll see how they justify this one. 6, the plague. Fuck. We're exposed to a disease of some sort. Roll of 1d100 on the disease type table. Diseases on page 84. Oh, that's ahead of us. There you All right, let's roll to see what we've encountered. 1. It's the fucking plague. A highly feared disease characterized by grossly swollen buboes, bloody sputum, high fever, and incapacitating malaise, muscle cramps, nausea, vomiting, seizures, orifical bleeding, acral necrosis, gangrene, and death. Symptoms come on only after a few days, and about 45% of patients die of the disease within a week, becoming symptomatic. So onset duration is 1d4 days. 2. Symptom duration, 5 days. And then you have to roll a death saving throw, and if you fail by 6 or more, you're dead. Now, that doesn't mean we've necessarily caught it yet, though. I think there is an initial save. We are in a grassland, so we add 10. Oh, we had 10, so we actually rolled an 11. Never mind. Okay, it's the putrid fever instead. High fever, incapacity, malaise, muttering delirium, rattling breath, putrid discharges. 40% of victims die. 2d4 days. That's a bit more generous. 5 days, okay. Can we get to a settlement within 5 days? Maybe. Okay. So yeah, you have to make a death saving throw for each exposed character. Certain diseases, being less acute, offer a saving throw bonus. This one does not. So, we have to set a general DC. I think usually for diseases, poisons, things like that, the DC is usually 15. So we're going to set a DC 15 con check. No bonuses. So let's see. Scylla has caught it. And Kurather have caught it. Both of them have the putrid fever. Excellent. So that's an onset 5 days from now. And we caught that in the evening of this hex here. We are going to be now on a road. So that's going to give us a 50% travel bonus. So we're going to be at 18 miles per day. So 1, 2, 3. We can get sort of within sight of the keep. But if we want to just keep going, I'm not quite sure where we decide a settlement is at this point. There's farmers in the area. They can't just be handling this keep, but I guess they could have. I guess how many days walk is the another settlement? 3 days walk from here. From here. Okay. So if I can get there tomorrow, we should be okay. So we're really going to have 3 more random encounter rolls in the Borderlands. And then from there, I won't sweat it. Great. Okay, as for our foraging... Nope. No. Alright, another ration. Theoretically, we have just enough rations to make it to the settlement. Alright, first one of the next day is 17. That's another dangerous terrain encounter. Fuck. Whoops. 5. It's a hazard. A place of hidden danger. A hazard is the equivalent of a 5th level dungeon trap, albeit of natural rather than mechanical nature. Okay. A hidden crevice. So it's basically just like a natural earth pit that we don't notice. Because it says, if you're proficient in land surveying, roll to see if they hastily detect the hazard. If not, roll 1d6 for each adventurer in the appropriate order to see if they trigger it. There is no, like, perception check or anything like that. It just fucking happens or doesn't happen. It only is going to trigger, though, on a 33% chance. Okay. So let's roll for Scylla. She would be up front. She avoids it. And Kurathair avoids it. Okay, so we don't even ever notice it. Yeah, we accidentally bypassed it. Okay. Excellent. Second roll of the day. 6. I think that's nothing. Good. And third roll of the day. 8. Nothing. Awesome. All right, another foraging check. Nope. No. Okay. Well, in that case, we're just gonna reduce all our rations to 0 and say that we make it to the settlement just as our symptoms set in, and we basically rest up for another couple weeks during the time of our horrible putrid fever. 2 weeks. Yes. So that time all goes by. So now we have to roll our death saving throw, which is again going to be con 15. But we only die if we roll a total of 8 or less on this con check. Scylla survives. And Kurathair crits. Take your luck token, my friend. You are made stronger by the disease, like a fucking RimWorld character. Excellent. That could have been bad. All right, within that 2 weeks, then, we are going to try to find a new companion to join up with us. Honestly, I probably should boot Kurathair out because he's a useless pile of shit. But let's also handle treasure. Now, you'll notice there's only 2 of us. That means that we only share this XP and treasure between the 2 of us. Pretty handy. I'm not suggesting you kill all your hirelings before you make it back to town, but it's an option. Okay, so let's add this all up now. 38, 175, 25, 250, 60. Right, am I 2? 1601 plus 817. 2418. Okay. Our new character we're bringing in is going to be level 1, of course. Unless we want to throw Heroic Funeral for Craig. He did die heroically. I think we can't deny that. We really can't deny he died heroically, and I don't think you have to have a body. Yeah, you don't have to have a new body or anything. It's just you can't do it if they died unheroically due to their own cowardice, greed, or stupidity. Or who are slain while cowering, frightened, faltering, or retreating. I don't think you would really call it stupid. He died heroically. Alright, so let's figure out our money then. I stick with my 85% rule. I'm happy with it. I like it. So we found 1,000 silver pieces. Fine, so that's 100 gold. Then the embalming tools, that's going to be 2,000 minus 15%. So that's 1,700 gold. And then the garnet, it's 212 gold. So 1812, 1912 is what we have total as far as gold. It says here I have 3 tiger eyes. I don't know if I never wrote that down or what. I think I took XP for it. Maybe? I have no idea, but it's not here, so whatever. So we have 1,912 gold total. Okay. Oh, also the egg of the cockatrice and oil of the secret flame. We're not going to say the settlement we're in is very large. This is just in the Borderlands. It's probably a relatively small village. The most I'd be inclined to say is like a class 5. So we'll say it's a class 5. That means that I have a 5% chance of selling the cockatrice egg for its full value, which I think was like $27.50. Or no, it was this thing that I just spitballed. No, the oil of the secret flame is $27.50. Yes. The egg of the cockatrice is of nebulous value. I don't remember. Oh, I think we said it was an apparent value of like 25 or something. It was something shitty. But the actual value of it, once per week, you get a cockatrice to follow your commands for 5 rounds. It's not super impactful. You're talking about like a once per week spell effect. If we go to the magic research section, yeah, once per week, 500 gold times the spell level times 6. Yeah. So basically like 3,000, 6,000, 9,000 is a base cost. Depending on the level of the spell involved of summoning a cockatrice. I'm sure there are conjure animal or summon animals or something like that. There's like Call of the Wolf, Call of the Wild Bear, Regal Pride, Great Cats, Galloping Herd, Ancient Tusk. Okay, I think we'd probably say it's around a bear-ish, right? Everything's a bear, isn't that the usual rule? So let's say it's a level 3 spell, so 9,000 gold. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how it works. So 9,000 gold is the base cost of this thing. It's probably higher. I mean, I don't know. Do we have a cockatrice here? Yeah, they actually don't have a cockatrice in this book. But Shadowdark will have one. Just to give a hit die. A level 3. Okay, so it's not super powerful. And then for a bear, brown bear is like 5. Okay, so maybe it's worse than a bear. Can petrify. Alright, we'll say it's a level 2 spell effect then. That's fine. So then 6,000 gold. We're going with 6,000 gold. Enough talking about it. 6,000 gold. So we're going to try to get it 6,000 gold. We have 5% chance. No. Technically, we could just sell it to the Tower of Knowledge, but I think... Is that how it works in their setting? You just sell it to the Tower of Knowledge and it's just guaranteed and you get the base value of it? I kind of prefer doing these random things, but to be fair, it's sort of like... You could just sit here for a year trying to sell this thing, you know? But I feel like if we sat here for a year just trying to sell it, I would actually, like, take XP away from them. Like, I'd have, like, skill rust, you know, where they just, like, yeah, I mean, you haven't been going out into dungeons and stuff, so you're sort of going down in ability. So, I don't think I need to implement mechanics for that or anything. But LEGO did bring up the point when we did this. It's like, why wouldn't we just sit here and keep trying every month to sell this for a high value? It's like, there should be a good reason why not. And maybe that would be the reason. Of, like, XP rust. Alright, 10% then for try to get 1,000 gold for it. No. 25% chance to get 100 gold for it. No. Well, I'm not budging. I'm not selling this egg for 10 gold. That's not enough. Then there's the oil, the secret flame. We know that's valued at 27.50. We'll try for 27.50. 5%. No. 10%. No. Come on. 25%? No. Alright, so can't sell either, and they're both kind of taking up space. Probably just travel to a bigger city at that point. And it's like, yeah, I mean, depending on how much you're going to hand wave, it's like, okay, you go to the capital, you sell it for 27.50, you come back, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, that's why there needs to be all the in-between stuff, you know, to tie things down. Or you just say that you can't sell magic items. I mean, that's the easiest way, but there's XP, an XP mechanic for selling it. Like, you get XP if you don't use it and you sell it. So I kind of want to do it that way. Yeah, I feel like we probably would try to go to a bigger town. We'd probably sign up for like a caravan, maybe a protection duty or something on like some sort of caravan up to the bigger city, like a class 3 at least. Let's say a class 3. And it's like a week away. So I'm going to roll 7 encounters. We're not in the Borderlands anymore. We're in better territory. Yeah, we're in the civilized territory. And we're on a road. So the worst thing we might encounter is bandits, but we're part of a caravan. It would have to be a lot of bandits. So I'm just going to roll D20, D20. It has to be 12 or higher. Okay. 62 grasslands. Just merchants, yep. 4, 16, 69 nomads. It's probably not a problem. 1 actually is something we actually roll on the next tier up. 16. Close, but it's still a civilized encounter. 9 is going to be cattle. I don't remember what I'm at now. Like 6. 19 is a civilized encounter. 83. That's medium cavalry patrol. And lastly, 20 is still just a civilized encounter, which is merchant. Yeah. So nothing. I mean, even if it was bandits, it'd have to be quite a lot because you're traveling in a big caravan. That's why people like to travel. If there's any risk. I mean, we're in a civilized area, so we could have traveled just the 2 of us. But yeah, we'll go with the caravan. And maybe we'll try to hire a guy here after we sell our loot. So now we're in a bigger place, class 3, I said. So the egg of the cockatrice, we're going to try again here for 10,000, 25% chance. No, I mean, not for 10,000, for 6,000. So we're just going to settle and sell that for 1,000. Then there's the oil, the secret flame. We try to sell that for 27.50. No. So we're going to sell both for 1,000 each. Done and done. And we get so we get another 2,000 XP, which is 1,000 for each of us. 34.18. Okay, and this goes up to 3,000. So if we dump 2,200 gold? No. It'd have to be slightly more than that. 2,250? It's not 2,250, but we're getting close. Probably an easier way to math this out. Whatever 90% is, that it gets us to 2,000. Because that would be, he would start at level 2. So let's just say 2,225 gold. Okay, that leaves us with 1,687 gold left over, which is enough to get him some masterwork gear, which is good. All right, so let's roll up a new character for the player of Craig. Who's going to start now at level 2 with 2000 XP. Let's roll on the ancestry column. 16 is not human. He has gone with an elf. We have 2 elves in the party now. That's a problem, because he either gets +1 to spellcaster or +1 to ranged attacks. Which means that straight up fighter is potentially not the best option compared to if he had been a human. Yeah, but a priest, a good priest, could be viable here. Zaphiel is his name. And we will roll for his stats. Technically acceptable. That 8 con, always hampering me, though. We could swap his charisma for his wisdom. +2 wisdom. You could be a priest with +1 strength, +1 dex. This is acceptable to me. He's going to go ahead and be a priest. We're still sticking with just the default 4. I want to get that all correct and right. He's going to have +1 to spellcasting checks. He was a bower. Or should we roll on my new D100 table? 11. Okay, he was a fallen nobleman. I'm cool with that. His deity, Odin as well, so they both worship Odin. Works for me. He does come in with 30 gold. Yeah, he's gonna have max hit points, blah, blah, blah. His talents, +1 on spellcasting checks. Good. For spells. Yes, we are not using these. We are now using axe. So, again, I get to pick one and roll one randomly on the axe list. I feel like we're gonna pick Cure Light Injury. It just... How can I not? Yeah, we're gonna go with Cure Light Injury for 1. You can just level up, that's fine. So your hit points at level 1 is 5. We're going to swap your wisdom and your charisma. Good. Spells, blah, 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 spells. Made item. Spell. Cure Light Injury. Priest. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. There it is. D6 +1. There is a way to just have it like that be rollable. With parentheses. D6, yeah. No, that's not how it's done. There's a way to do it. Fuck. Let me look at, yeah, okay. Fuck. No. Okay, let me just add this, because I want to just look at, edit it. Let me just see, edit. Oh, /roll. Oh, okay. can I add +1 to that? 1d6 +1. Okay, good. Thank you. Your light injury. Alright, and then the second one is going to be rolled randomly. And it's a D30. 17 is Infuriate Beast. Last 10 minutes, fewer than 9 hit dice, spell saving throw. Otherwise, they become infuriated. It will attack any creature it can detect, prioritize attacking whichever creature has most recently damaged, otherwise the closest target. If it has no eligible targets, will wait motionless in seething fury. It gets +2 to attack throws, -2 to AC. Cannot talk or retreat, immune to fear, and ignores morale. Lasts until spell ends or it's dispelled or removed by remove fear. If it's a female and never finds out about itself about to attack its own mate or offspring, it may immediately make an additional saving throw at +5. And this is any living animal target. Okay, it has uses. Seems like a sort of mean, horrible thing to do, but yeah, it has uses. Spells, Infuriate Beast. Okay, good. That's all good. Is there anything else we get? Well, we get Turn Undead. Automatically. Which is the Rebuke Undead feature. We already know that. Is there anything else we get that I'm forgetting? Yeah, the different proficiencies and stuff, but other than that... Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's it. Alright, then he's going to level up. Like I said, we gave him the funeral. That doesn't really matter. No talent. And we got to pick a new spell. So now we're going to roll 2d6 -1 for his new hit point total, which was 7. Yep. No, it's 6. And he was at 5, so he's actually at 6. Not great. What do you expect, though? He's not going to be much of a frontliner compared to Craig. Damn shame about Craig. That fucking boulette. And that fucking elf failing his cure wounds roll. God damn it. Masterwork gear will go a long way here. So we now need to roll another spell check. Or another spell gain roll. 21. That is Predict Weather. It's about as useful as you think it is. Enables the caster to accurately predict the weather within range of the spell over the period in the next 24 hours. It's a very, you have to be playing the full Monty of like survival and everything for you to really care about that spell. We're going to reroll just to try to get something more interesting for our tests of trying out axe spells in this. Holy Circle, that's a much better one. Everybody gets Holy Circle on their lists. Okay, creates a Holy Circle of protection around the caster, 10-foot radius, blah, 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 blah. Blocks enchanted creatures from entering its area of effect. Cannot make attacks on creatures within the circle with their natural weapons. Expires if the caster or any protected creature makes an attack against, casts a spell, or tries to force the barrier against a blocked creature. Does not block evil creatures from entering, but gives +1 to AC and +1 to saving throws and against attacks made or effects created by evil creatures. But yes, the caster has to remain stationary and concentrate on this. So it's really not super good. Because he's kind of our frontline guy. But he could stand there and hold it up and try and tank, I guess, as Kurather and Scylla. It's unlikely that we'll use it, but whatever. Much better if you actually have, like, proper front line. Okay, good, good, good. All good. Everything's good. What is his spellcasting check? Yeah, that's correct. 4. Alright, 4 is not bad. We succeed pretty often then. So that's fine. Alright, we need inventory. So his new proficiencies allow him to use clubs, flails, hammers, maces, morning stars, slings. So obviously we're going to go with the classic mace again, I think. There isn't really much better of an option for someone like that, you know? Like, the morning star is two-handed, and we don't want that. The flail is functionally identical to the mace. So, yeah, it's just a mace. It's going to be a masterwork mace, though. A mace, a shield, and we're going to go with the, yeah, we're going to go with a great shield. For 20 gold. And then chainmail. Or do we want to go with scale? Technically, I think Shadowdark... Oh, they can wear all armor. Yes, okay. So we could go with scale or banded plate. But between the great shield and the chainmail, that's 6 slots. You know, it gets kind of hefty. It's kind of hefty. But he does need all the AC he can get. Damn. We can only afford, let's see, minus 690 for the Masterwork Chainmail, and then 655. Yeah, that's for the Masterwork Mace. And then the shield is 20, so that's 322. Okay. Great shield. That is modified by 2 slots per... Good. Okay, the chainmail. Masterwork. 4. That's going to be 4 slots. Yep. And the mace. Okay. Yeah, he's not a fighter, man. +2 to hit for 1d6 +1 damage. That's all he gets. Jeez. Makes you want to make a 4th character, doesn't it? But he's going to be at level 1. But a level 1 character could be pretty good. A level 1 fighter, I mean. I know I wanted to not do 4 characters, but we're kind of getting... I mean, we're slowly making progress, but we're also kind of getting our shit pushed in. And I feel like this group of 3 is not going to be able to handle it. This guy's not going to tank. And he's not going to do almost anything, really. He's destined to sit in the back. Or just support. So, I think we do need a fighter. Sad to say. I was hoping this guy could be better, but... yeah, I think we're going to have to make a fighter. The level 1 fighter joining the team. We'll just pretend, you know, it's another player that joined the group. Like, sure, you can do it. We need a fighter, actually. Can you make a fighter? Sure, I can make a fighter. I love playing fighters. Let's roll for a race for this fighter. That is going to be a human. Perfect. We love human fighters. We invited our really boring friend over to play a human fighter for us. His name is Noring. His name's Noring. He's almost certainly going to be a fighter, but we'll see. Okay. Yeah. Swap int and strength. Call it a day. Done. We're going to roll my background. I have to also apply it to the other guy. 76 for a background is a messenger. Ooh, dog. He worships Ged, because Ged's a very boring deity. And his weapon mastery is with longsword, because he's a very boring individual. +2 to strength, dex, or con. Again, I'm still not sure why it doesn't give strength as an option. But yes, we are going to go strength for. He's a very boring individual. Right, so his hit points are 8 right now. Luck, details, background, which you have to specifically add a new background. Why can't that just be an easy text entry if I just want to add a background? The other one was fallen nobleman. Okay. All right. He gets a second talent roll though, because he's a human. Very boring. A 9 is probably also going to be a +2 to strength. It is. Could give him more strength, but the more dex or more con, but the appeal of the +4 mod. So technically he would be at 19 and this would be at 10. Oh. So yeah, it's +4 strength. Phenomenal. Okay, then we're gonna take back this masterwork mace. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. You suck. You have regular mace. Noring, the fighter, has the masterwork sword. Hell yeah, boy. +6 already. 1d8 +2. Excellent, Noring. Alright, he doesn't get to level up, so that's his final setup. Yes, and he does get a minimum of 1 hauler. So we're just going to go over here and add an effect for additional gear slots, which should be set to 1 by default. Yeah, 1. So is 20 gear slots. Right now he can run like the fucking wind, man. Jesus. All right, as for his inventory, yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to throw... If Zephiel's not going to be up in... Yeah, I think Zephiel still benefits from the good shit. So we're just going to buy then chainmail and definitely another great shield. So another 60 gold down, plus the price of the longsword, an extra 7. So an extra 27. Oh, plus the chainmail. 67. 255 it is. Okay. Gets him the chainmail. And the... which I didn't add, so whatever shield. That module is so fucking useful. Okay. AC of 17, 8 hit points. Yeah, we've seen better. Sure have. But that's what we got, and that's what we're rolling with. And Noreen does get a portrait because he's a real person that really exists. He's gonna be a real badass human man. Look at this guy. That's Noreen. It's exactly the type of portrait Noreen would pick. All right, then I think we're ready to go. So we have Noreen at 0 out of 2,000 and Zaphiel 0 out of 2,000. Okay. Shitting God. Also the crawling kit. We probably should buy 2 sets of those and add it all up. There's no reason not to buy all that. So that's another 18 gold. Putting us at 237 gold. Backpack, bedroll, spikes. This was a good decision when we put this together. Okay. Also, it's 2 sets of torches because we couldn't find anything else to spend our money on. And I wanted an even number. Yeah, I guess that's about right. So he's got 1 slot free. Good. Good. Yeah, he's certainly most weighed down because he didn't get any strength. But I think that's good. Also, these guys came in with 70 gold of their own, so I suppose we can transfer that over here. We probably should spend some more of this, because otherwise we have to carry it and it weighs us down. So if there's anything we want to spend money on, now would be the time. We could try to get Kurathair some more spells. That would be probably the main thing. Or maybe Zaphiel, another spell. But Zaphiel can't really train. Well, no. Well, now we've entered in sort of a dilemma. Axe, divine characters get all the divine spells of their repertoire. They don't have to pick and choose. They can't gain anything else. They have it all. Shadowdark, priests can't gain any new... Or priests gain a new spell each level. They don't have access to all of them. But they also can't gain anything from scrolls. So they actually have just way limited number of spells compared to a wizard. I think we have to adhere to that. I know it's kind of shitty, but yeah, we're going to adhere to that. Priests are still pretty good. I mean, that's how Shadowdark is. You know, priests just don't get that many spells. I'm not quite sure why they kind of limit them that much to where they only start with 2 spells instead of 3 compared to a wizard. But yeah, I mean, I haven't heard that much complaints about priests being like shitty and underpowered or something, but you know. But Kurathair could go to the Tower of Knowledge if we want and try to get basically pay to try to learn some spells. He has to succeed to learn to actually learn them though. So we could throw away our money for nothing. But it's probably a good quick way to spend money. So we could spend 300 gold pretty easily. We do want to replenish our rations, but that's only going to be 6 gold to get this back. Although we probably should spend a bit more money because I'm not counting for the trip back to the keep, which was 3 days, I said. And then it's like 3 or 4 days to get to the... So yeah, we probably should buy extra rations. Fine. Even though we stand good chances of foraging, I'm going to buy extra rations. So we're only going to have 2 opportunities for spells. Right now we're at 301. I'll spend the extra 3 gold to buy another week of rations. So we're at 298. Okay, we're going to try to learn 2 spells, so that leaves us at 98 gold. And we're just going to have Noreen hold 98 gold. You're going to hold nothing. You apparently have 10 from somewhere? Okay, well then we can try to learn 3 spells. We'll have 8 gold left. Perfect. Broke and hungry. That's the way to go. We're going to add another set of iron rations there. And Kurathair is going to try to learn 2 spells. These can be picked. They don't have to be random or anything, so they can be picked. Because you're going into the sort of the library and picking out what you'd be interested in. So first level arcane things we would be interested in. Do we want another type of damage spell or do we want another utility? Probably we want to try for utility. Illumination could be pretty handy. We could actually ditch a lot of torches that way. All right, let's try for illumination. Yeah, okay. So he needs to roll a DC 15 int. If he fails this, he cannot learn illumination until he levels up. He succeeded. Okay, so our money was well spent. We learned illumination. Excellent. Well, actually, why bother? Just fucking add the light spell and call it a day. I mean, it lasts a little bit longer than light, but who's counting? All right, then the second one, again, this is unlikely we get it. So we want it to be something that's reasonably nice, but we could live without. Slicing Blow is actually a pretty solid single target. I think it's 1d10. Yeah, it's 1d10. But at 3rd level and every 2 levels thereafter, you get the ability to inflict an additional slicing blow. The problem is you have to succeed on an attack throw against the target. And, you know, for an attack throw for a wizard or a mage here is not good. It's based on this chart. And it is modified by AC, I believe. So... yeah, the odds of actually landing it are pretty slim. And we have to roll to see if we cast it and roll to see if we hit it. Now, I would probably just change it. And I think I did this for Lego when he took Slicing Blow with Tales of Argosa, where it's just an attack roll made with int. I think that's the fairest way to do it. So it's honestly not bad. We'll try for Slicing Blow. Yeah, okay. Oh my god, we got it. Holy shit. Okay, well that was well worth the time and money. Do not expect to get that lucky too often. I mean, odds are we actually would have succeeded on one, failed on another, but we got, what the fuck is this? Slicing Roll? That's not what it's called. It's called Slicing Blow. Bells. Wizard. 45-foot range, D10 damage, could be good. Awesome. Okay, well, we're definitely in a better position now. It's got a lot of spell options. Love it. Let's head out. We're going to ignore random encounters because, yeah, I mean, I'm not sweating too much about this being a big open hex scroll or anything. So we're just going to spend the 3 rations. I'm not even going to do foraging. We just spend the rations. Technically 4 rations, yep. And we make it back to this hex. And we camp overnight here. no encounter, whatever. We're gonna start here. So again, 18 miles per day on a road. So, that would be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so basically we can get to the end of the road. So we're gonna roll 3 random encounters for this first day. First one is a 10, which is a civilized encounter, I believe. Well, we're in the Borderlands on a road, actually. So a 10 is no encounter. Second one, 16, is going to be a civilized encounter in the grasslands. 9 is a herd of cattle. Pleasant. And third is 11, which is another civilized encounter. 97, that's bad. Yes, that is a devil boar. That is quite bad. We might want to try to evade this motherfucker. So let's roll for the devil boar, which is basically like a really nasty wereboar. Like a really malicious wereboar. Alright. So let's roll for how many there are. It's 1d4. There's 3 of them. Terrible. Layer percent of 20%. Not in the layer. Then we go on to rolling for surprise. There's 3 devil boars. Would we have 4 knowledge? Sort of depends on what they're up to. We could roll the encounter activity table for wereboars, but these guys are a little bit trickier. They delight in the taste of human flesh, always take residence in or near areas occupied by man so they can easily have people for dinner. They speak the language of the local population, do not have their own tongue. And they basically have this hypnotic gaze where they, entrance and enslave individuals. More often, a devil boar creates more of its kind by feeding a human or demi-human the flesh of his or her spouse, parents, and or children. Some depraved cultists voluntarily undergo this ritual, but more often the devil boar transform unwitting or unwilling victims. The victim can make a death saving throw to resist the transformation. If the save fails, the newborn devil boar becomes an obligate cannibal, growing increasingly corpulent with every meal until he reaches 90 stone and becomes a devil boar. Yes, they weigh 900 pounds. So it's a 900-pound dude. They're really nasty. They have 9 hit dice. So I need to figure out what they would be doing. Let's look at the encounter activity table for... for... Would it be under lycanthropes? I think. And it's broken up into wereboars. Yeah, bear or noble. Devil swine. Okay, now this is good. Oh, but this is a tell. That's right. He didn't do an activity. He did like a tell that they might be unusual. I mean, this is a group of 3 900-pound dudes out in the Borderlands. I think if we see them, it's already a bit too late. So this doesn't really help us, unfortunately. They're probably in human form, I would imagine. And I would guess they're just kind of walking down the street, really. Or they're walking just through the woods. I don't think either of us are going to have 4 knowledge. We're similar size groups and everything, and we're both just walking, so... Surprise and surprise, really. If we look at the matrix for surprise, we just both have line of sight. We both roll surprise, but we can evade. So let's just see if we surprise them. That would be handy. So we roll a 4, we are not surprised. They roll a 3, they are not surprised. And now we have to try to evade. We're in the grassland other, so we succeed on a 9 or higher. They are faster than us, technically. In human form, which they are right now, they have a normal speed of 60. We have a normal speed of like, what, 30 or 20 maybe right now? Like, they're definitely faster than us. So you suffer a -4 penalty to our evasion throw, which means we need a 13 or higher on this roll in order to evade these and lose them. We did not. Which now means I either have to use this luck token to try to reroll, with the odds being against me, or we have to fight 3 Devil Boar, which I imagine is going to be just death. They can't be harmed by mundane weapons, and I have pretty much nothing that's magical. So I guess we'll use the luck token. Failed. Okay, I guess we'll use Noreen luck's token. Oh my god. There we go. Took everything we had, but we managed to give him the slip. So he probably ran far enough to go into the woods. Like up here or something. So we're gonna camp out in the woods tonight. Alright, and we will have a random encounter for this night. It's a 1. That's pretty bad, actually. That means we're in the Borderlands. We rolled a 1. We roll on the Outland table now. Another 1. Now we're rolling on the Unsettled table. And we rolled a valuable terrain encounter. That was pretty fortunate. How the hell did we get up to there? And we rolled ore. Okay, well that's not very valuable. So in our sprint away from the Devil Boars, we went sort of into the woods a bit, and we stumbled upon a visible deposit of ore. What did we find? 46. We found an iron deposit. Increases the land value of the hex by +1. Hey, you know, I mean, this is sort of our land. We'd have to clear this all out, really, to make use of it and stuff, but... yeah, there you go. Big iron deposit we found. Nice. Technically, I guess this is like Scylla's land. Alright. Then, did we forage while we were traveling along the road? Everyone gets to roll int. Yes, we got 3. We got 6. Oh, we got 9 rations. Amazing, amazing. Well, we eat 4. So technically, I just restored it by 4. Yeah, we'll leave a couple behind. So that's fine. We refilled up. Alright. Next day, we're going to go back that way towards the river. Towards where the wild burdock is. So that's going to be 1. And then we make it partway into this hex. So 2 total rolls. 16 on the first one. Is a dangerous terrain encounter. Should we just make it that pit again? Poison. Now we're going to say it's that same pit that we didn't trigger. So now we have more people, so it's much more likely. So each one on a 1 or 2 will fall in, or the first one. Noreen's up front, of course, followed by Zaphiel, Kurathair, and then Scylla. Noreen first. Nope. Zaphiel. Nope. Kurathair. Yes. So Kurathair falls into this pit, which is a excavated earth pit. "10 by 10 hole in the ground, covered with leaves and brush, rigged to collapse. Suffer 1d6 damage per 10 feet. If the pit is spiked, creatures that fall into it are also impaled on 1d4 spikes, dealing 1d6 damage each." Jesus. Okay, this is probably just a first level thing, so it's a 10-foot... it's a natural pit. It's not going to have spikes on it or anything. It's a natural crevice we fell into, so... yeah, he just takes 1d6 damage. Alright, he just takes 1. But don't worry, Zaphiel's going to patch you up. No problem, my friend. Oh, look at that. He heals you for 4 back to full. Everything works. Excellent. All right, that was our first roll of the day. Second roll of the day is a 12. That is going to be a civilized encounter. Are you serious? It's the same devil boars? It's the same devil boars. Oh my god. They've been following us. Well, if they've been following us, that would be kind of cruel, because then they would have foreknowledge. So no, they just are sort of wandering this river in the search of food. Hoping to munch on some farmers or something. So basically same thing, I guess. We stumble upon them. We have to roll for surprise again. So our roll is not surprised. Their roll is not surprised. Again, we need a 13 or higher, and we have no rerolls this time. We rolled a 1. So no evasion. We are in an encounter with them. I mean, there's just... I mean, I can roll a d4 again. It might not be the same group of 3. It's the same group of 3. We're fucked. Yeah, we're pretty fucked. They're not enchanted or anything, so we can't use Holy Circle. They're just monsters. This is insanely bad luck. I think this is a TPK, and you would just kind of like restart the campaign at this point. It's a really cruel thing that they put this on the encounter table. And they put it there for like everything. Like, well, no, I mean it's just grassland because they're a bit more civilized and they can somewhat blend in sometimes, even though they're 900-pound dudes. But yeah, I mean the high roll on everything is pretty bad. Desert ghouls, were-tigers, were-bears, were-rats, all this sort of civilized stuff. But the thing with like a were-tiger or something is like they're not necessarily going to just slaughter you on sight. Devil boars, though, are going to kill and eat you. That's what they do. I don't even know if you roll a reaction roll for these things. What would be, like... They're monstrous. They delight in the taste of human flesh. That's all they do. They roam around and just enslave and eat people. They're not really civilized. Shockingly bad luck. But, I mean, we'll never win. They get +9 to their attack rolls. And they're going to swing twice on a weapon. There's 3 of them. And it's times like this where if I were DMing, I imagine I would just fudge it. But in the spirit of the whole thing is that you don't fudge it. You just run it as is. But running it as is, I feel, is just, let's start a new campaign. Which is not terrible. It is what it is. But it is like... It's not for everybody. I think we can all agree on that. That sort of thing is not for everybody. Where you spend like, okay, we spent all this time, we did our shopping, we get set up our new characters, we're set out, we go back this way, and then, oh, everyone died. Let's start over, make new characters, new campaign, whatever. Fuck. Do I fudge this? Do they... I just want to see if they put... Like, those things must be on the list, right? Hmm. No. They don't put Devil Swine on the list? Okay, so that's uniquely an axe thing where they just throw in lycanthropes from time to time to fuck you over. Well, so they do put lycanthropes. They just don't put the Devil Swine. And that the Devil Swine, I feel like, is a specific problem. Because, like, a werewolf during the day is just a guy. But they do appear in groups of, like, 2d6 or something. So it's not just the lone, you know, it's not the wolf man where he wanders around on his own. He's like, no, I can't. I'm gonna turn into a wolf. They do stick together in groups most of the time, or small packs. Yeah, werewolf appears in groups in the wilderness of 2d6. Yeah, it's just shit luck for Max and just the way it is. I'd love to know, I guess, people that play Axe regularly, how they deal with these random encounter tables, and if they just like, yep, 5% chance every hex you walk into could have a devil boar, 3 devil boars ready to jump you. I guess we'll fudge it. We'll re-roll just because I'd rather not redo the whole thing here. So we rolled an 11. That is going to be another civilized encounter. 27 is bandits. Okay. It's probably the same group of bandits then. They're in this area. We know that. So they know Scylla and Kurathair. I think Kurathair is the one that did a lot of the talking. Yeah, so they definitely know Kurathair. They like Kurathair. So we exchange pleasantries with them again. We'll probably spend the evening, hanging out with the bandits. Why not? Before mustering on again. And I think we're here now. So then it's just going to be... We'll arrive here during the evening or so. So one more encounter the next day. Yeah, I guess rations. We'll eat our own rations. I suppose I should roll. It's a lot faster if everyone has their own character and they roll for this. Not so lucky today. Okay. All right. Then on the forest there, it's a 14, which is a monster encounter. Okay. It's a 7 for rarity, which is common. And then it's going to be grassland, grassland, farmland. No, we're in the forest. Deciduous, sorry. Common. 34. Feral wolfhounds. Dogs of war. Dogs of war. Okay, feral wolfhounds. Dangerous as wolves and a large pack can threaten humans. Okay, this is going to be 2d4. 5 of them. And we'll check for lair. 10%. Nope, just barely. Okay, so 5 feral wolfhounds. Let's get a encounter activity table. For what would this be? For some sort of dog? You have a dog or anything kind of dog-ish? I guess I could roll for wolves. Maybe they include wolves. I think it includes dire wolves. We can roll on this. It's probably the closest we're going to find. 14. Crippling a giant stag with a ferocious bite to the back leg. Okay, well that makes our job a lot easier, rolling something like that. And if we were hard up for food, this would be a fantastic opportunity. But yeah, we definitely hear this. nearby, like a giant moose or something, just bellowing out, or I don't know. You'd hear sounds of some kind, I guess. So we have foreknowledge. We'd probably go investigate, I imagine. So let's see if we roll surprise. So we have foreknowledge, they don't, so because they're pretty preoccupied, so we don't have to roll for surprise for us, but they have to roll. They're not surprised. Not that it really matters. They're busy, but the presence of 4 humans might cause them to scatter. I'm gonna immediately have them roll a... I guess I could roll a reaction, but I'm not sure how I would handle that. If they roll low and they're hostile, does that mean they turn on from the stag onto us? I wouldn't imagine. It could, though, because I think when they see us, they're going to, like, stop for a moment, and the stag is probably going to take that opportunity to start to, like, run away. So a low reaction roll would mean that they turn on us. A higher reaction roll means they go after the stag, because that's the wounded, bleeding prey, and they run away from us. So let's just roll a 2d6. Okay, middle of the road. So yeah, that's probably what I expected. So they're gonna chase after the stag, and that's it. Okay, and that's everything. I think that was for that. Now we're gonna go towards the Caves of Chaos. We'll roll one more encounter check on the way in there. 18. Oh boy. This is Outlands, I decided. So it's going to be a valuable terrain encounter. Funny how much those come up, huh? Even though there's a 5% chance, we roll double. So that means we roll twice. If either or both rolls are double again, roll on the unique terrain table instead. If neither rerolls double, adventurers find both indicated valuable terrain pieces. Okay. Okay, well, it was a 12. So we found... Right, so we just roll on the unique terrain. It's an empowering place. A place capable of temporarily empowering non-magical items with the powers of a magical item. Choose or roll a magic item that the place is capable of duplicating, then choose a method by which the terrain can deliver this power. For example, a cliff might empower the boots of someone who leaps off it with the powers of boots of levitation. Only a non-magical item may be empowered, and only one such item may be empowered at a time. Serve as a magical item for 1d6 days, but will then be destroyed. The physical item is destroyed. Okay. So I'm supposed to roll... Choose or roll a magic item the place is capable of duplicating. Well, I guess we can go now to our treasure thing. And I guess I could just pick one. But there's a lot of ones, so let's just roll randomly. We'll roll a random magic item type. It's a piece of armor. So now we're going to roll for the rarity of the armor. 52 is a rare armor. So now we're going to go to armor. We roll on the rare armor table. 50 is shield +1 Dragon Slayer. Immune to breath weapons of all types, from the fire of a red dragon to the noxious cloud of a basilisk. Okay, that's it. So basically it's we find, like, I don't know, you'd find like a magical pool of water or something off to the side, this little, and we just sense the magical energy coming off of it. I'm not quite sure if you just immediately know that it's magical, But I don't know how you'd... I mean, I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't tell the players how it all works. You just say, okay, you come across a little pool of water in the forest. And they're just supposed to be like, okay, dude, that's cool. We keep going. Thanks for letting us know. But we don't need any water right now, so we're going to keep going. No, you fools. I mean, I'd probably tell my players because they're dumb. Would a smart DM tell smart players? I think smart players would immediately know that if the DM's saying something, there's something unusual about it. Most people know that. So then you're like, okay, Kurathar's is going to try to discern magic on this thing. See if it's magical. That's all. You don't know what it does or anything. You just know that it's magical. Like, okay, so oh no, I can't sense any magic coming out of this. It's like, okay, well we drink some. Oh well, nothing happens. It's fine water. Okay, we piss in it. Okay, we just kick it around, or we take some with. It's like, wow, none of that does anything. You guys are idiots. How do you not know exactly what I have in my head of what you're supposed to do with a specific type of physical item? So I can't imagine a world where DM doesn't tell you how this works, because otherwise this is basically a non... It's like a cliff, and you have to jump off of it to get your boots and power boots of levitation. No one's fucking just trying that out. You have to know. So yeah, I would tell. I think I would tell pretty much any group. All right, so we'll just say that if we put a shield into it, it's going to be a +1 shield for 1d6 days, but then it will be destroyed. That's a bit of risky, I gotta say. I mean, we are heading, like, we're 20 feet away from a dangerous location, so it's probably worth doing. I guess it's worth doing. Norin's going to dip his great shield into this thing. Temporary +1. So for now, it's a 3. Which means he has an 18 AC. Excellent. We're not going to get XP for that, I don't think, so it's all good. And we continue on. Back to the Caves of Kaos. So now, it's been a long time. I mean, it's been like at least 3 weeks since we were here. So I'm not sure what to do about this. I would imagine this whole cultist section is just empty, abandoned. Maybe the Araignées or whatever slaughtered everything there and fled. But I'm not going to put that in there because it's just kind of a crazy kind. So if we go back in there, though, we just find bodies and just death and horror. And probably all the creatures that were there. The sharks are dead of starvation. The invisible stalker is no longer there. Jellyfish are probably dead of starvation. Ether slime, I have no idea what that even is. It's concentrated magical energy, so that's probably dissipated. So it's just quiet, empty, filled with blood and death. Which means that we could go probably loot Craig and the other Craig and Yarn. He does have a masterwork dagger. That's about all he has, outside of things I don't really need. But he does have a masterwork dagger, which we could collect and get XP for finding and recovering. Riarn also has a masterwork mace, which Zaphiel could certainly take. So we probably should go back in that way. So we'll retrace our steps. Which means going back up the hill through the mausoleum. We're going to roll 1, 2, 3 random encounter checks for this zombie area. I'm not going to restock anything or anything like that. We'll just roll the 3 random encounter checks. Nothing. Okay, so we make it back here. We find all the dead bodies. Blood just... I mean, it's a horror movie in here. It's terrible. But we're going to go over to... I mean, we'll probably poke around and look through all the rooms. We also need a light, so let's see if we get illumination going. We do. We'll put that on Norin's +1 shield. And I guess I probably should keep track of that. It's an hour and 10, so it's 7 rounds. We'll say we're down to 6 now. But yeah, we'll go in here. We see the sharks kind of floating dead in the water, as well as the bodies of our 2 companions. So we're going to hop in and collect those niceties. So Zaphiel's going to swap out his mace for a masterwork mace. Awesome. And the dagger Scylla will just take as a remembrance of her fallen companion. You know what? Fuck it. Just do this. Okay. And we do get XP for that. We'd get 655 times 2. Give or take. I think it's actually 1308 XP. But still. I think that's right. I think you'd get it for Masterworks. Okay, well, we can clearly see that whatever happened here wasn't good, and there's something terrible that's been unleashed somewhere. But we're going to go travel back. So we're now going to go to where we haven't been. We're going to roll 2 more checks to get back to 48. And then we're going to go check this northern door. We're still good. We go check the northern door. We know that there's nothing in there. It's a completely empty room, but it's another random encounter check. Nothing. I'm going to tick down this torch another couple times. We go down this hallway. We're going to go to this door. And then we go in here to the chasm. 2 man-made rooms. The chasm is 10 to 20 feet wide, 100 feet deep. The east room is 40 feet higher than the west room. Okay, we have ourselves a pickle. Let me roll a random encounter check. We're good. All right, so it says the chasm is 10 to 20 feet wide. I'd really prefer you to be a bit more specific than that. But I guess at its widest point, which would be towards the north end here, that's where it's 20, and then here it's 10? Yeah, vaguely. It's about 10. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is that the east room is 40 feet higher than the west room. So we can look up 40 feet and we see the ledge of this. And yeah, it's only 10 feet horizontally, but that's a, I don't know enough about math, trigonometry to whatever. Pythagoras. I don't know enough about Pythagoras to tell you how far it is apart, but there's a number. We don't have any teleporting or anything like that. We don't have... Really, it would have to be a grapple. But we never bought a grapple. So really, this is just like a no-go unless someone wants to, like, free climb. That was my cat, who is now bugging me because it's food time. Okay, so we know that the chasm extended to this mausoleum here. Based on the map, I don't think it actually did, but we said that it did. Like, you can clearly see the wall hasn't broken here. But I extended it. We're sticking with it. So we know the chasm broke through here. So we could have someone climb along this wall to get up here. And then either we use ropes and iron spikes along this wall that others can climb, or we just have a rope here that someone throws down and people can climb up that way. Either way, it's fairly risky, especially for the climber, but that would, of course, be Scylla. What's the better option? Probably she throws the rope down. Assuming there's nothing up there to attack her, but yeah. Okay. We're going to need, I would imagine, more than 50 feet of rope. So she's going to take your rope. She's got her iron spikes. Yeah, should be probably okay. DC is not going to be super easy, though. And if you fall, you're dead. No ifs, ands, or buts. No luck tokens. All she has is advantage and +3 on the roll. Oh, we do have one token. Yeah, Lucura there has the luck token. Okay, well, that helps. Okay, she's going to do it. She's going to do it. We're setting the DC at 15. I don't know if that's super fair or not. Yeah, I don't know if it's super fair or not. Would we say it's a hard task? Yeah, I think this is a hard task. Free climbing a chasm like this up to, 40 feet above to a ledge. I think it's a hard task, so let's see what she's got. One off. Okay, fuck. Well, there goes the luck token then. There, she got it. Okay, excellent. I'm not sure if you use the luck token if you get to reroll advantage or not, but that's how we're doing it. It says reroll any roll you just made, so sure. I mean, that was a roll I made. That was a check I made. All right, so she got up there. She's going to throw the rope. And the others are going to climb up the rope. Well, okay, so Noreen is going to basically wrap the rope around himself so that the other two can then climb, and he's like anchoring them on this side. So it really shouldn't be too tricky for them. But then Noreen is going to have to take the rope and then basically like swing across the chasm with it and then start climbing once he hits the other wall. So I think there is a slim chance that he loses his grip while climbing up that rope. Scylla held on while Kurathair climbed up. And then now both of them can anchor for Zaphiel, and now the three of them are going to be anchors for Noreen. But yeah, like I said, I think there is a slim chance that he does fuck this up. So I would say DC of 9, but that means that he actually has a 25% chance of failure, which is not that slim. So really, I would say if he just rolls a 1. I think he's... But that's like... I guess I'd say a 1 in 6, to be honest, if I wanted to set it right. But now you're just spitballing rules and shit. I mean, I know that's what playing these games is like, but I don't feel great about it. Yeah, I guess a DC 9. And I'm not necessarily saying that if he fails, he falls to his death. But maybe he sort of crashes against the far wall, takes some damage, and we roll a random encounter check. That sort of thing. If he rolls a 1, yeah, he falls and dies. I mean, that's always a possibility when you're doing dangerous shit. So let's just have him roll a strength check DC 9. He's got it, no problem. So he swings across like Tarzan, braces against the far wall, climbs up, flexes his muscle, dabs on everybody, and she's going to give that rope back to Zaphiel. I'm still now going to roll another... Okay, why is that not... What the fuck? That didn't move? It just copied? Okay, well, anyways. Random encounter check. We're good. Excellent, excellent. I'm going to tick down the light again, though, because that took a while. We're in 47 now. We're going to go and listen at 46. There are 6 stumbling corpses. I think it's somewhat unlikely that... well... I don't think it's obvious that we would hear them, but I think it's not too bad to hear them. I'm going to set a DC of 12. She's going to hear. Also, another thing I added to the house rules. Thievery, they get to add listening and searching for secret doors to their things they get advantage with. To keep it more in line with the original game. So she does get advantage on wisdom. She needs to roll a 9 or higher. She doesn't, so she's like, yeah, sounds clear. So we walk in, no foreknowledge, so we can be surprised by these guys. They can be surprised by us. So D6 on both sides. Our roll, we are surprised, because Scylla confirmed that it was empty, so we are surprised. They are also surprised. We just kind of stare at each other, deer in the headlights for a moment. And then things get back to normal. All right, our new initiative number. 3, 4, 5, 3 divided by 4. Yeah, we're unfortunately down to a 0 modifier. Thankfully, the zombies are at a -2. So our initiative is 3, theirs is 0. So we get to go first. Turn undead seems like probably not a bad idea. He's level 2 now, so if we actually go to the Crusader thing for rebuke undead, level 2 zombies succeeds on a 10 or higher to rebuke up to 2d6 worth. So he's going to roll that 10 or higher. He does get it, 2d6 worth, 6. So he rebukes 3 of the zombies into fleeing from him on their turn. So they'll be going into those caverns, assuming we don't try and stop them. Kurathair is going to be definitely using Fan of Flames, so he'll step up in front of Zaphiel's holy symbol gleaming, and he'll just go and just blast out across the whole crowd. Oh, it's going to be good, baby. He's not going to fail, that's for damn sure. Hell yeah! Alright, so each of these zombies needs to make a dex saving throw against, what did he roll? 12. So they have -2 dex. So there's 5 of them? 6 of them. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, that is 2 successes. So the ones that fail, the 4 that failed, take 3 damage. The ones that succeeded take 1. Yeah, that could have been better. But hey, he finally did something cool. He feels good about it. Okay, so 4 of them are at 6 HP. 2 of them are at 8. Noreen is going to no, he's not going to charge. He's going to rush forward and swing at one of the 6 hit pointers with this nice long sword. That is a hit, and that is a kill. He can cleave once, so he'll step over and swing at another 6 hit pointer. That is another kill. Ho ho! If he had up more levels, he could cleave again, but he doesn't. So they're down to 4 total. Scylla is going to shoot at the 3rd 6 hit pointer. Yeah. Okay, it's down to 2. So we have 2 at 8, 1 at 6, and 1 at 2. Their turn. 3 of them. Yes, 3 of them. Okay, so the 3 that he turned are all still alive, so they're going to flee. We'll say that's the 2 8 hit pointers and the 2 hit pointer. So that means there's just a 6 hit pointer left. And that's going to stumble over to Noreen and swing at him with a +2, missing wildly. Excellent. New initiative from us, 5. From them, terrible. Noreen's going to put this thing out of its misery. This is a 6 hit pointer, I believe. Yes. It's down to 2. I'm not going to waste an arrow. Actually, we should have replenished arrows. Let's pretend that I did. I'll deduct a gold. I probably should have given Noreen that longbow off of Craig, but whatever, I didn't. Oh no, this isn't our actual gold title. This is our total right now, 7. Okay, so she'll fire an arrow, an arch. She'll fire an archer. Okay, Zaphiel, he's gonna charge in now with his mace to put things out of its misery, and he does, and it's over. All right, that felt good. I mean, that was 6 zombies, pretty easy fight, especially with a cleric with turn undead, and a wizard that actually succeeded on his spell. But nice, Noreen cleaved, Kurathair cast a spell. Zaphiel turned undead, and Scylla did something minor. She failed to hear them and then missed with her bow. But she got us up here, and that's what matters. Everyone doing their part. Feels great. Okay. That would lead us then into the next section, which is the Gnolls section. Oh, and that's interesting. There's bone chimes in that room, which the zombies definitely like ran through. So we heard all sorts of bone rattling sounds coming from the north. And there will be 1d4 nearby gnolls coming to investigate. That are going to be battling the zombies for sure. Yeah, like this encounter here. 1d4 gnolls fighting 1d4 lizard folk or 1d4 zombies. There was 3 zombies. How many gnolls came to investigate? 2. Alright, so there's 2 gnolls suddenly fighting 3 zombies up there. I think we'd probably... Well, we either rush in and we can settle it totally. Wipe out everything without question. Or we could hold back, see the result, and then go from there. I think we'd rush in. Fuck it. Okay. Which is sort of worse to DM, because now I have to figure out how to... I guess, you just play out all the rolls and see how it goes. It's just a lot to juggle. But yes, we rush in, and so we see 2 gnolls fighting 3 zombies. One of the zombies only had 2 hit points, so we'll say he just died pretty quickly. So it's 2 gnolls fighting 2 zombies at full health. Well, 8 hit points, whatever. Gnolls. We have that in the monster manual. Beastmen, gnolls. 2 hit dice, 14 AC. They get +1 damage bonus. So on and so forth. Okay, so let's... Technically, we're jumping into an ongoing combat, so there isn't really any surprise. We just have to roll 3 different initiatives. They probably have at least a +1, I would imagine. I don't know why I wouldn't give them a +1. They do have a +1. So they have a +1, we have a +0, the zombies have -2. So our initiative is 2, the gnolls is 2, and the zombies is 4, actually. So the zombies are going to be swinging at these gnolls. The first one crits. The second one rolls a 14. So they both hit. Wild. So the zombies roll a bite, which is 1d8. So on the first gnoll. Oh no, the first one crit. So the second one takes 5 damage. The first one takes 2d8. 14. So the first zombie just sinks its teeth right into this gnoll's neck when it was busy killing the third zombie. Just dead. The other one also gets bitten pretty good on the arm or the shoulder or something for 5 damage. So the gnolls are definitely losing. They're probably about to flee. They and our group actually have to re-roll initiative. So we roll a 6, they roll a 4. So we have an opportunity. We could save this gnoll's life if we wanted to do the diplomacy thing, which is kind of what you're meant to do here, to be honest. We're about to head into gnoll territory. They are a little insane, though. They're fucking gnolls. Usually you don't make friends with gnolls. It would be one of the weaker options I'd pick here of who to try to make friends with. They are opportunistic. I'm not saying you can't befriend a gnoll. They're not particularly intelligent. I don't think they really... Would they recognize, like, empathy or anything? Would they be thankful at all for saving their life? They're not idiots. They're not mindless, and even a dog would be kind of helpful. It would be appreciative if you saved their life, right? I mean, that's often how it works. But a feral dog or something, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's worth a try, I guess. And if he decides... If he just runs, we're going to shoot him in the ass. Like, if we save his life and he just runs, we'll shoot him in the ass. But Norin's gonna decide to rush in. He's gonna charge in on these zombies and try and save this Gnoll. Okay, he kills one zombie, no problem. He's gonna swing at the other one, and again, he gets to keep his charge bonus. All right, he doesn't kill that one. It's down to 3 hit points. Zaffiel will also charge in. Crit, excellent, appreciate that. All right, so we quickly charge in and just butcher these zombies. And there's the Gnoll, and we just go to stare at each other. We're gonna roll a reaction roll, and it's gonna be Kurathair. Don't know if we share a language. I think they have like a 10% each one to speak. Okay, so he doesn't speak common or anything, and Kurathair might speak whatever Gnolls speak. I'm not gonna go into figuring that out. I guess we could say that he does. Barely recognizable dialect of ancient Saharan. Yeah, I guess we could. If we want to say that Kurathair speaks ancient Saharan. It's a different dialect, though, for each one. Orc, Goblin, Gnolls, so on and so forth. So him speaking specifically Gnoll, unlikely. Ancient Saharan, sure, we'll give him that. So 2d6 plus 2, 11. Okay, so this thing actually is not an idiot, and it does recognize that we just saved its life. So we can't be all bad. So it's going to sort of cackle a bit like a hyena, because that's what Gnolls do. You always got to have that happening. And then he's going to gesture. We definitely can befriend the Gnolls, right? Like, this isn't just, you didn't just make this up. Ravenous hyena people. They want to obtain bones and meat from lizard folk and zombies. Okay. So they're opportunistic, remember. So it's not so much that he's like, oh my god, these are my saviors. They're awesome. It's more like, holy shit, these guys can kick ass. My buddy just died to these zombies and they dealt with them like they're nothing. So I think probably they could deal with the lizard folk for us and wipe them all out. So we want to just send them like a fucking, like a Winter Soldier sort of thing into the lizard folk territory. So I don't think he's necessarily going to lead us to his leader, but we do happen to pass by that area. It's an altar, it's a shrine with a giant ram skull mounted on the wall. There's many snakes writhing around. There's 3 Gnolls here. One's a priest, wrapped in robes and bone jewelry and live snakes. So he's a very worrisome figure. It says here that the worshippers within near range, including us, are in a constant state of rage, plus 1d4 damage and immune to morale checks. I don't think that means that we just necessarily attack everything in sight. We just feel like this anger inside of us and we're sort of empowered. We want to just get into a fight. So they probably look at us pretty mean as soon as we enter. But the Gnoll that we rescued, he's going to like bark and stuff at the priest and sort of point, towards the north, and the priest just nods, and they all just start nodding, and the Gnoll gestures us to follow him. I guess we will. We don't want to fight all this shit, and I mean, we do want to fight something, but then when we leave the area, we're like, okay, that was not good. So we just smell like rotten meat and just flesh and death in this area. There's Gnolls here just eating on meat, loving it. There's a snake cage trap here, and then there's 2 more Gnolls waiting here to ambush intruders coming from lizard folk territory. So we're gonna go past them. We see these 2 Gnolls sort of waiting in ambush, just ready, with just itching for a fight. But he leads us past that, and yes. And he leads us to like right here, right where the ambushers sort of are, and he just sort of points towards the north, more down the tunnel. And he just sort of does like a stabbing gesture with like an invisible spear or something, you know? Just like, oh, you know, that way, fight. It's like, okay, I mean, I guess. I feel like we probably want to kill all the gnolls. I don't know if we necessarily are going to fight whatever's over here. Maybe we want to make friends with them as well. But it's an enemy of the gnoll, clearly. Like, they want us to fight their enemies for them. We'll see. I'm going to have to leave it off here. Like I said, my cats are bugging. The first fight we did all right. But we do have 4 characters now. And we kind of out-level the module bits. Although I think that if you were playing with Shadowdark normal rules, we would have hit level 2 by now. I would think. So, yeah. Definitely not a super easy module. There's plenty that can go wrong. I'm glad we fudged that bullshit with the devil boars, because that's too much, man. That's too much. Crazy stuff. It'd be nice to actually do something, like wipe out one faction here and get something done, but, you know, the goal of actually wiping out the entire caverns and clearing it out, that's not easy. I mean, that's not, you're talking about like multiple little mini dungeons here. It's quite a lot to kill. You know, the lizard folk area has 10 lizard folk total, a rat swarm, and 4 gray oozes, which is not super easy either. But we'll see how it goes. My name is Mang. This has been Solo Roll Manging. I'll see you fine folks in the next part.